Hey guys, welcome to Confessions of an Avoidant. If you are brand new here, my name is Wando. And yeah, I just like to talk about avoidant attachment on this channel and maybe translate some things about avoidant attachment that are bewildering to people. And in this video, I wanted to share one trick to make your avoidant ex miss you faster. And when I say a trick, I literally mean a trick. Like, I know that sounds kind of manipulative, and that's the point. I'm not sugarcoating it. I think there are moments in life where being able to manipulate a situation for our benefit is a normal part of life, as long as it's not hurting anybody, of course. For example, when you're going for a job interview and you conveniently leave out that in your last job you got fired, you're omitting that information, but it's for your benefit, and you're trying to manipulate the situation where you're presenting the best version of yourself to get a job. Who wouldn't do that? We do this when we're on a first, second, third date, putting forth the best version of ourselves. So we as human beings are always going to be trying to manipulate certain outcomes in our lives. And it's not always for like a Machiavellian or sadistic intention. Patrick Teahan, actually, I love his channel. He has a great video where he talks about codependency and some manipulative behaviors of codependency and how they exist just to kind of stay safe in a situation or control an environment that makes somebody like them more. I'll link to that video below because it's so great and he explains it so much better than I ever can. But the point I'm trying to make is sometimes I think the concept of the verb to manipulate can be skewed towards this extreme. And at the end of the day, anyone who's watching a video about how to get your ex back is trying to understand how you can manipulate a situation for your benefit in some way. So that's why I'm being completely honest about this trick that I'm literally referring to as a trick, and being super transparent that I think it's a trick that can work in your favor. So the trick is during the no contact period to be the complete opposite of how your ex has come to know you up to this point. Why? Because sometimes when people have a certain expectation of us, they can have a confidence of how a certain situation is going to play out, what they can expect is going to happen. And it can be shocking and jarring for them when that doesn't happen. And if part of their expectations of you are going to linger in the no contact period, and those expectations are contributing to them not missing you, wanting the break up, whatever, why can't I talk? Well, wanting the breakup to continue. Then if you're living up to those expectations, that's just going to reinforce them not wanting to be with you. But if you don't live up to those expectations and you're actually the opposite of it, they might be like, whoa, I'm not expecting that. Where did this person go? I'm not noticing them. I have no idea what's going on with them. I have no idea what's up in their life because I was expecting them to, I was expecting them to reach out on Facebook to our mutual friend, Alex, and try to get the dirt on me. And they're not doing that. That's what they would do in those few mini breakups that we had last time. But this time, they're not doing that. They're being a complete opposite person. And it's going to trigger your ex, whether they're avoidant or not, but particularly with an avoidant person who might take longer to miss their ex, it will trigger an avoidant to really notice you are gone, especially if they're accustomed to you trying to maybe plead with them or get through to them or have another follow-up conversation, another conversation of closure. Now, I'm not saying to change your personality forever. That is, almost like living in shame to just change who you are forever. But I think this is a good strategy and it's a good trick in no contact if you think that your relationship is salvageable and that there's a chance that your ex will come back and they need the no contact period to maybe just have a break from the relationship, essentially. If you are behaving in a way that they are just not expecting, it's going to be shocking to them. Like the rug's been pulled out of them of like, oh, I was really expecting that they'd still kind of be like hovering around me, and they're just not. They haven't reached out to Alex. They haven't made a fake Instagram profile and tried to friend me and see what's going on in my private profile. I'm not saying you're all doing that. I'm just thinking of examples that an ex might do. They are not, showing up at the place by my house and being like, oh, I was in the neighborhood, whatever. If you're doing whatever is the opposite of whatever they're expecting you to do, they're going to notice that. So they'll just like wonder about you more. Their brain will think about you more because you caught them off guard. And that might trigger them to feel like, okay, maybe my feelings towards the end of the relationship weren't completely the whole picture of who I thought this person was. Maybe they're evolving, maybe they're changing, maybe they're working on things, feedback that I gave them. Maybe if the avoidant person was very, very avoidant, maybe they're like extremely avoidant, or maybe like in one of my previous relationships that I've referenced in this channel a lot, I've had some phases in my life where I was really avoidant, some less avoidant. But I had one relationship where I felt like I was in a relationship. I wasn't wholly in it. There was a part of me that like wanted to be single, and I felt like I was a bit more of the problem in that dynamic, but it wasn't helping that my ex was also like a bit controlling in some of his anxious tendencies. So that was like also clouding my ability to like want to be in the relationship. So if an avoidant is really, leaning into their avoidance, they're going to be seeing as if it's foggy outside, and they're not going to be clear-headed. And if you're the opposite of what they're expecting you to be, it can help trigger their brain to think a little bit more clearly and have a little better vision of how they are viewing the relationship now that it's over, and really missing the good times and focusing on those things more, and missing you because you are showing them that what they were maybe thinking about you or thinking about the relationship wasn't completely the whole picture, and that they still have some things to learn. So again, I'm not saying that you should change yourself forever, but I do think that sometimes when we're going through a difficult situation, it can be a good thing to challenge ourselves to handle something differently than how we typically handle something before, because, how we were handling something before, maybe it wasn't yielding us the best outcome. And when you're going through a hard time, it can be really helpful to help you stay sane by challenging yourself to try things a little differently. And at worst, it's just going to help you move on from the relationship and heal from the relationship if you don't get back together. So I hope you liked that video. Like it. If you liked it, like click the like button. I would appreciate that so much. It helps me in the algorithm. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.